So what are we thinking here? Talk to me. $999 starting price, $899 if you're a student. And then it's an M4 MacBook Air with 16 gigabytes of unified memory, 256 gigabytes of storage. And now they have the new color called Blue Sky, which we have. Let's go check it out. Gets me what I want. I'm hanging by a string. Gotta get up on my feet. Get to what I need. Look, I know what you're thinking. Andres, why the hell do you have a G14? I've been just trying to document my life by replacing the MacBook Pro for the next 6 months with a G14. And I'm at 1 month and a week and a half. But anyways, that is not the point of this video. You see, the point of this video is that, well, I'm gonna be unboxing the new MacBook Air with you guys and take a real first look at it. So obviously you guys know me. I definitely beg to have the sky blue color. And to be honest with you guys, I feel like it's some sort of silver with a bit of blue in it. But we are going to be taking a look at it together because that's what we do on this channel, right? So, M4 chip with 16 gigabytes of unified memory and 512 gigabytes of storage. Now, I'm very aware that this is not the base model MacBook Air, but this was what was available to me. However, right here, the difference is not only the storage, but you get an extra 2 core GPU, okay? So instead of 8, you get 10. So this is the $1,199 MacBook Air version. Oh, and at this price too, you're getting the 35-watt brick, okay? Instead of the 30-watt brick. Le voila. Ta-da! This is the new MacBook Air in sky blue. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. The connector, like the braided cable, and also the plug is like a baby blue color. I guess the same thing as the MacBook. Let's actually confirm that. Let's open this up. Oh, wow. It's like a silver with some hints of blue in it. Sort of matches the braided cable, yeah? Let's take a look at it, actually. Check this out, okay? So this is the braided cable, and the tips are, you see that baby blue color? That's pretty cool. Pretty clean, pretty mint. Like that. Love that. Really, really does match the laptop. It's cool. And then we have, obviously, designed by Apple in California. I think we're done getting stickers, right? Or maybe not. Yeah, we were done getting stickers. So yeah, no stickers. At last, the 35-watt brick. This is the 35-watt brick. This is pretty much, this has 2 USB-C ports. You guys see it? That's pretty much it. There you have it. This is the new MacBook Air. Let's actually open this up, man. Oh, yes, sir. Look at that baby. Look, honestly, I will fanboy over Apple laptops any day of the week.
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
If you like macOS, this is the best laptop you could buy for the money. That is my opinion. That's what I think. If you don't think the same, let me know what laptop you can get that's better in terms of battery life and performance, because this thing is just unbelievable. I'm gonna show you guys. All right, look, I took a bit of time to set this up, and when I say a bit, I mean it. My #1 rule to save time and headaches is always have a backup of your Macs. I mostly use MacBook Airs for dev work, so I make sure I have my own backups tidy because reinstalling all my dev tools and setting them up is a pain. I literally had this backup since 2023, M2 Air programming. I had, actually, I think it's this laptop. I think this is the M2 Air. But I've literally set this up back then for full programming work. So that's sort of what I do or used to do with my MacBook Air until the 15 Air came out, and then I replaced my M3 MacBook Pro or M2 MacBook Pro, and then rocked this for the longest time. This is my daily laptop. But mainly I use my MacBook Airs for development when I have time, which hasn't been much lately.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
Anyways, we got 43 minutes left. What is wrong with my hair, bro? I think next month we are supposed to be getting macOS 15.4. So if you don't have a backup like I do, Apple said setting up MacBooks will be easier. You'll be able to just bring your iPhone close to the laptop, sign in with your Apple account, and you'll instantly access your files, photos, messages, and more. So this is M4 MacBook Air. In summary, really,
The base model is now $100 cheaper than the MacBook Air M3. Both the 13-inch and the 15-inch get that price cut. And not only do you get a new processor with 2 more CPU cores than M3, but a 120 gigabytes per second memory bandwidth, a 12 megapixel center stage camera with support for desk view. So this is something that the M4 MacBook Pro has. Okay, wait, give me 2 seconds.
You got me feeling good, right about your side. Lost in every move, riding down your spine. Baby, hold me tight, let me trace your lies. Keep it low, cause you're dropping it down. We gon' boogie to the sundown, oh. Baby girl, you look so fine, fine, fine. I gon' sing up, shit, can we tune it out? Show you all I know.
So this is a feature that's already been out for a couple of years, I believe, but check this out. It's so crazy. The screen is sort of facing you and you still have desk view available to you. It's really, really cool. Of course, there's some distortion, but you know, you can show people a bunch of stuff. It's a really cool feature, and we finally get it on the MacBook Air. So there's those two things, and there's also the fact that we now get a 53.8 watt-hour battery, which is slightly larger than the one on the M3 Air, delivering up to 18 hours of battery life, which is what they're claiming. Same numbers, same everything as the M3 Air. But you get more power and better power efficiency, of course. Display technology, it hasn't changed. 500 nits, 60 hertz, IPS panel. Thickness hasn't changed as well at 0.5 inch. The weight as well, this comes in at 2.7 pounds. The design is the exact same one with this new color, and the ports are exactly the same, but now these are officially only Thunderbolt 4 ports. With that, MacBook Air M4 supports dual external monitors at the same time, even when you have the lid off the laptop opened. I think it would have been quite sick though to get the option of at least adding the nano texture display. I really like that about my MacBook Pro. I've realized that it really helps eliminating that glare. But look, overall, okay, if we were to compare this to my all-time favorite laptop, the M1 MacBook Air, this here is set to be up to 2 times faster than that laptop. Is it worth the upgrade? I mean, watch my MacBook Air M1 video I posted a few months ago and you'll know. The short answer though is, I don't think so. However, if you finally want to switch from a Windows laptop, you've got a MacBook Pro Intel based, a MacBook Air Intel based, then heck yeah. No, and even if you want to maybe, I don't know, upgrade from your M1 Pro MacBook Pro to the new M4 Air, it's not the worst idea. I get it. You want a slimmer laptop, lightweight, you want maybe something a bit smaller, no fan, such a capable laptop, and I'm gonna show you just how capable it is. So this is not a review, but I'll try to show as much as I can. Okay, so to be honest, I spent the rest of my Friday afternoon finishing up my setup just so on Sunday I could show you a few things. So Sunday was a fun one. I spent that day making sure my dev tools were up to date. I also started tracking battery life. At noon I was at 37%, so keep that in mind. I spent the next 2 hours running a few benchmarks and playing Cyberpunk for a bit. Look, okay, the first thing I wanted to run was my Xcode benchmark tools, just to push this new CPU and see what it's capable of doing. This benchmark, by the way, measures Mac performance in Xcode by compiling a relatively large code base. So I'm happy to say that within all the other Macs and MacBooks within the Apple lineup, this sits at 167 seconds for the Xcode benchmark. So in practice, this sits between an almost fully loaded M1 Pro MacBook Pro 14-inch and an M1 Max MacBook Pro 16-inch. I also downloaded my Rick and Morty project from GitHub and ran that from a fresh boot. It actually took around 35 seconds to compile and build it to a iPhone 16 Pro Max emulator with no lag, no glitches, and a fairly smooth experience actually. Anyways, the only thing I need to do is just finish up setting this up. I want to run a few other programs to show you what the MacBook Air is capable of this year. I know I don't have the base model, but the numbers shouldn't vary too much. I can't really rock this, to be honest, because I'm using the G14. That's my main laptop, and that's the laptop I've been using for work. This is just to give you guys a first look in performance, see if you can make a smart decision whether or not this is meant for you or not. Look, by this point I had so many things opened. In general, I was just trying to have a feel for the laptop, which is why I gave the new Siri a try, although this is kind of a bit disappointing. I tried to ask it to write me an email to a friend and it honestly just wouldn't work at all. I think everyone has been complaining about the potential of Apple Intelligence lately, and I mean with a reason, because it's definitely way behind the competition. So that's something I couldn't really showcase. Cinebench, however, I took some of the afternoon to showcase that. I ran some Geekbench tests. I also realized battery was at around 16% by 1:22 p.m. Throughout this test, the laptop chassis was incredibly cool, even though the CPU was running at like 85 degrees. I was really trying to push it so I could like show you guys, which is why I left so many apps open during this test. I also had memory pressure doing some work, but at the end, I got some slightly inaccurate numbers because of this. I had so many things just running in the background and taking resources away. I tried closing everything though except an Xcode update that just completely froze, but I still went through with my Geekbench 5 benchmark. I got fairly decent numbers, but I knew I was going to have to rerun all of this. To be honest, more than anything, I just wanted to download Parsec, install it within my laptop, and log into my PC at the studio to play Cyberpunk. Absolutely amazed with the latency and how natural going around my Windows desktop feels. It looks pretty good, to be honest, and Cyberpunk looks even better.
In that case, I'll hit the all foods. Windows on the ground.
Got a Delta later.
I hope it translates well in video because keystroke latency was incredibly minimal, the tracking of the mousepad as well. Actually, the latency was worse when using the cursor in the menu, but during the game it was really good. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how I got the laptop to 8% by 1:55 p.m. I did hop back on it at 6:32 p.m. for some emails, and it lasted till about 6:43 p.m. The only thing I found a bit long is how long it took at night to charge it with a 35-watt brick. From 7:30 p.m. till about 9:14 p.m. I was able to get from 0 to 90%. Yesterday I ran a couple of benchmarks. If I remember correctly, Cinebench multi-core was in the 9,000s, and then single core, it was in the 2,000s. I usually run these like a couple of times. I'm gonna run them today again with all the apps closed, and I'm also gonna run Geekbench because I did the test with Geekbench 5. So I re-downloaded Geekbench 6 because I thought I had it on the computer, but I didn't. So I'm gonna run that today and do a proper battery life test. Right now it's 8:22 a.m. and we are at 100%. Monday, I concluded some benchmarks, and as you guys can totally see, I got some different numbers from that multi-core test. Geekbench 6, I ran a CPU and GPU benchmark. In single core, we got 3,682, and in multi-core we got 14,748. From there I went straight into the GPU test. I used the Metal API and we got a score of 54,953. To put these numbers into perspective, this is quite a significant jump from the M3 Max MacBook Pro in single core scores and just above the Apple M2 Max MacBook Pro in multi-core scores. And then in Metal, this sits right above the Apple M3 chip in the MacBook Pro. Look, from there, not only did I leave the laptop on standby while I worked, but I also decided to run a 4K playback battery test with Notion, Superhuman, Discord, and VS Code open. So I left that running at around 10 a.m. when I had 80% in battery life. Okay, let's see. It's currently 12:30 p.m. Laptop has been running the video for 2 hours and 7 minutes. So let's say you've been watching an entire movie. I will say though, there was about 40 minutes where the laptop had gone into sleep mode. So keep that in mind. And now we are sitting at 52%. Just keep in mind all the apps we had open during this test. Pretty freaking solid if you ask me, because this is a 4K video and all the apps running in the background and stuff. It's good. Look, from there, I just wanted to rerun one final charging test. So with the same 35-watt brick, I decided to plug in the laptop and see how long it would take to charge from 50% to like 80%. This took about 36 minutes to complete that charge. So honestly, it's not bad. it's not bad. I find it really funny how if you want to achieve that 50% in 30 minutes, you need a 70 watt hour brick, but the 35 watt hour brick won't deliver that, so you gotta buy it separately. That being said, look, I think personally that this is a lot of laptop for the money. It's capable of doing so much. This is not by any means a review. This is a real first look into what the MacBook Air can potentially deliver for you. I really think it's worth the money. Obviously, if you come from, I don't know, the M1 Pro or the Intel based MacBooks, something like that, then it might be worth the upgrade. Other than that, I would hold off. That's just what if you guys have enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. This was a really quick turnaround, but I'm happy with the way the results went. Anyways, I will see you guys all this Sunday, so make sure you stay tuned. Take care.